Right now, at this very moment, your brain is lying to you. Not because it is malfunctioning, not because something is wrong with you, but because lying, or more precisely, constructing a convincing but incomplete version of reality, is exactly what the human brain was designed to do. And the most sophisticated part of this deception is that it is completely invisible to you. You have never once caught your brain in the act. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain and look at the verified neuroscience and psychology behind why your brain routinely distorts, filters, and even fabricates your experience of reality, and what this means for the decisions you make, the memories you trust, and the person you believe yourself to be. Let us start with something called confabulation. This is one of the most revealing phenomena in all of neuroscience. Confabulation is when your brain fills in gaps in your knowledge or memory with invented information, and then presents that invented information to you with complete confidence, as if it were real. This is not lying in the intentional sense. Confabulation happens automatically and unconsciously. Your brain simply cannot tolerate gaps or uncertainty, so it fills them immediately with its best plausible guess, and then hides the seams so perfectly that you cannot tell the difference between a real memory and a fabricated one. Neurologist Oliver Sacks documented numerous case studies of patients who confabulated entire detailed memories, autobiographical histories, and explanations for their behavior, all completely invented by their brains, all completely believed by the patients themselves. The disturbing implication is that if damaged brains do this extensively and visibly, normal brains do it constantly and invisibly. The next way your brain deceives you is through what psychologists call the confirmation bias. Once your brain forms a belief about something, yourself, another person, a political view, a scientific theory, it immediately begins filtering incoming information to favor evidence that confirms that belief and to downplay or dismiss evidence that challenges it. Research by psychologist Peter Wason demonstrated this with a simple logic task. When people were asked to test a rule by finding evidence, the overwhelming majority only looked for confirming examples, never for disconfirming ones. Your brain is not designed to seek truth. It is designed to defend your current model of reality. This means every belief you hold is surrounded by an invisible wall that makes it extremely resistant to contradiction, regardless of how much contradicting evidence exists.
The third way your brain distorts reality is through the availability heuristic. Psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky identified this cognitive shortcut decades ago, and it shapes your judgment every single day. Your brain estimates the likelihood of events not by calculating probabilities, but by how easily relevant examples come to mind. If you can remember it vividly, your brain assumes it must be common. This is why people dramatically overestimate their chances of dying in a plane crash, shark attack, or terrorist incident. Because these events are covered intensively by media and therefore come to mind with great ease and vividness. And it is why people underestimate risks from common diseases or car accidents, because these receive little dramatic coverage. Your brain is not calculating reality. It is scanning its mental library for vivid examples and using those as its measure of truth. The fourth deception is the Dunning-Kruger effect, documented by psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger at Cornell University. They found that people with low skill in a domain dramatically overestimate their own competence. Simultaneously, they lack the metacognitive ability to recognize their own incompetence. Experts, by contrast, are frequently more aware of how much they do not know and therefore express more uncertainty. Your brain has no reliable internal mechanism for accurately calibrating how much you know. It simply generates a feeling of confidence. and that feeling is often wildly disconnected from your actual knowledge. The fifth and most profound way your brain lies to you is through the retrospective coherence illusion. When you look back on your life, your brain constructs a smooth, logical, coherent narrative. This narrative feels true because your brain has stitched together events with invented connections and meanings. In reality, most of your life's trajectory was shaped by accidents, random encounters, and circumstances beyond your control. But your brain cannot accept chaos as the author of your story. It rewrites the chaos as destiny. Psychologists call this the narrative fallacy, the deep human compulsion to impose story structure on random events. And your brain does it automatically, constantly, and convincingly.
Now you might be wondering, why does the brain do all of this? Why not simply perceive reality accurately and think logically? The answer is energy and speed. Your brain processes an almost incomprehensible volume of sensory and social data every second. Doing this accurately and logically would require computational resources that the human brain simply cannot spare. So evolution gave us a brain that takes shortcuts, a brain that constructs plausible models of reality rather than accurate ones, a brain that fills gaps, filters information, and builds coherent narratives, all in the service of fast, efficient, good enough decision-making. For most of our evolutionary history, a brain that was fast and confident was more valuable than a brain that was slow and accurate. The problem is that we now live in a world of extraordinary complexity, where the consequences of these cognitive shortcuts can be severe, where confirmation bias drives political polarization, where the availability heuristic leads to terrible risk assessment, where the Dunning-Kruger effect puts the least informed people in the loudest positions of confidence, where confabulation makes us trust memories that are partly invented, where the narrative fallacy leads us to draw lessons from patterns that may not exist. The research does offer one genuinely hopeful finding in all of this. People who understand these cognitive biases, who have knowledge of how the brain distorts reality, show measurably greater resistance to those distortions. Simply knowing about confirmation bias does not eliminate it, but it does give you a fighting chance to catch yourself mid-assumption and ask, am I seeking evidence that challenges what I already believe? Metacognition, thinking about your own thinking, is the most powerful tool you have for seeing through the lies your brain tells you. It requires practice, patience, and genuine intellectual humility. But it is the closest thing to clear-eyed reality that a brain is capable of achieving. If this video changed the way you see your own thinking, please like and share it with someone who would benefit from this perspective. Subscribe for more psychology and neuroscience content that challenges the way you understand your mind. Thank you for watching. Before we close, there is one more layer to this that deserves attention. Your brain not only distorts incoming reality, it also distorts your perception of yourself. The self-serving bias describes the consistent tendency for people to attribute their successes to their own intelligence, skill, and character, while attributing their failures to bad luck or unfair circumstances. Research confirms this pattern is nearly universal. When things go well, your brain takes credit. When things go poorly, your brain finds external explanations. This protects your self-esteem, but it also prevents you from accurately identifying the real causes of your failures. Related to this is the illusion of knowledge, where people feel they understand something in depth when they only understand it superficially. Psychologist Frank Keel has demonstrated this by asking people to explain everyday objects like toilets, zippers, and bicycles. Confidence ratings drop dramatically the moment people are asked to explain exactly how those objects work. We believe we understand far more than we actually do. Our brain generates a feeling of understanding, not an accurate measurement. The takeaway is not that your brain is broken. The takeaway is that your brain was built for survival, not for perfect perception. Question your confident feelings. Seek out disconfirming evidence. Treat your memories as reconstructions, not recordings. Approach your story with the curiosity of a scientist. If you found value in this video, please like, comment, and share. Subscribe for more.